Half a day and happy Monday, everybody. You are watching the HotSpot and not Game of Thrones, remarkably. I'm Jason Salas, and here is what we're working on you today.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
On your menu, a serious accident over the weekend involving a vehicle and motorcycle leaves one man in the hospital. On Friday, a couple was arrested for charges of child abuse. We'll also bring you what's going on with Mother Nature with our weekly weather forecast with not one, but two A-Lit brothers. And we are going to give you details to an upcoming conference from our friends in the world of public health. But first, on Sunday, units from the Guam Fire Department rushed to Ipao Beach on Tumon Bay to report of a drowning. Units arrived right before 3 p.m. where a 60-year-old man was receiving CPR by Parks and Rec lifeguards. GFD continued to be en route to the Guam Memorial Hospital right up the road. The condition of the man is unknown at this time. And the condition of another man is unknown after a vehicle and motorcycle accident happened on Saturday evening. GFD says that just after 10:40 p.m., units responded to a reported crash with serious injuries on Marine Corps Drive near the ITC intersection over in Tamuning. The man riding a motorcycle was transported to GMH, with that crash remaining under investigation. From Crime News, Faith Joy Salas Chung and J. Mart Newcomb Regis, both 29 years old, were arrested after allegedly assaulting a pair of young children. A magistrate's complaint says GPD responded to a child abuse complaint involving a 6-year-old child who had bruises under both eyes, on their body and wrist, as well as scarring. Police learned the child has had previous injuries known by CPS. The child reported to Chung, quote, "slam me to the ground" for talking to CPS. Both Chung and Newcomb allegedly punched the young person in the face. Chung is also accused of assaulting a 1-year-old child who had bruising throughout her body and head. When interviewed by police, Chung allegedly admitted that the allegations were true, but not the whole truth. She told various stories of how the first victim got injuries and admitted to grabbing the child in frustration and throwing them onto a bed. She also said she spanked the older victim when they were not behaving. Both people are facing charges of child abuse. On February 20th, Taiki Usefich allegedly struck a man with a metal pipe in the lower abdomen area. Usefich also allegedly kicked the victim's car, causing a dent. Then on the 18th of this month, police were called to a woman's house after she told Usefich to leave. He allegedly struggled with police, court documents state, as they removed him. There are also 2 active court orders barring Usefich from harassing the second victim and her children, as well as a pair of bench warrants. He was charged with aggravated assault, criminal mischief, criminal trespass, violating a court order, resisting arrest, and harassment. Former President Trump's legal team plans to ask a judge to appoint an independent reviewer to evaluate documents seized from the FBI for his Florida home. Here is the very latest.
Demonstrators gathered outside an FBI office near Boston today to protest the FBI's search of former President Trump's Florida estate.
The average person is going to start to lose faith in every one of our systems, and we can't let that happen.
CBS News has learned Trump's legal team will ask a Florida judge to appoint an intermediary, known as a special master, to review the government's documents seized by the FBI.
One of the benefits of a special master, if the master agrees with us, is we can stop DOJ in their tracks when it comes to inspecting these documents.
But legal analysts say the Justice Department would likely contest the motion, saying the documents are evidence.
The fact that these were highly classified documents, as high as top secret code word, makes it pretty clear to me the president has potential jeopardy here, compounded by what appear to be deliberate misrepresentations by the president or his team.
Another document of interest, the affidavit used to get approval for the FBI search. The Justice Department says releasing the affidavit could cause irreparable damage to their ongoing criminal investigation. But more than a dozen media organizations, including CBS News, argue the public has a clear and powerful interest in understanding more of what prompted the unprecedented search. The federal judge in Florida who signed off on the FBI search has given the Justice Department until Thursday to submit proposed redactions to the affidavit. Representative Mike Turner is the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee.
Show us what it is that you went into the president's residence, spent 9 hours at former President Trump's residence. What is it that was at an imminent national security threat that you didn't just go to court and ask the court to order that the documents be delivered to them?
Trump has called for the Department of Justice to release the affidavit unredacted. Deborah Alfarone reporting for KUAM News.
Well, this morning, Trump released a presidential run on his Truth Social platform. A pair of sources close to the former president says his legal team is also determining how to handle surveillance video captured in the search. Well, as part of celebrating their 70th year anniversary, UOG opened up an exhibit at the Guam Museum showcasing their accomplishments. Daniel Perez has more.
To commemorate their 70th year anniversary, the University of Guam launched an exhibit at the Guam Museum to showcase their accomplishments, which has been transforming lives and advancing communities through their mission of Ina, Descubri, and Setbi, otherwise known as to enlighten, to discover, and to serve. UOG President Dr. Thomas Kreis gave his 2 cents on the exhibit.
It's a really great exhibit. This was my first time seeing it this evening, so I had the joy of discovery that everybody else had in coming in. It's really quite a big chunk of the museum that's dedicated to this exhibit, and we have a lot of material objects and tremendous information on the walls. We have QR codes so you can find out yet more about the history and the impact of this university over 70 years.
The exhibit is open now until October 15th, so residents are invited to check it out and take a glimpse into the works of UOG.
The public can come and see what's possible here and to see what's happened at the university over this period of time. So I hope to get as many people here as we can to see and appreciate. And you'll see a lot of faces of people you know, including every employee of the university on a really cool big picture wall.
There is no entrance fee to visit the UOG exhibit, but Dr. Kreis does want visitors to take the time and appreciate all UOG has done throughout the 70 years.
It's a great opportunity for the people of Guam to see what they've invested in over these years and the great return on that investment with tremendous chance to transform lives and advance communities, which is what we're all about.
Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
All right, it's time for News Bites, where we show you what is happening all over the island, and here's what we have for you today. Our friends at IHP Clinic is pleased to announce the addition of family nurse practitioner Leslie Filler to the primary care team over at IHP. Congratulations to Leslie. Sergeant First Class retired Clay Elisho retired at a National Guard ceremony after 22 years of faithful service to his island and country. GUMA, the Guam Unique Merchandise Art Organization, in partnership with the Mayor's Council, continues their 6-hour training course for residents who want to start or expand home businesses. They've completed training in several villages. The following training will be on Igania Heights on September the 3rd at the Senior Center. And Mobil Oil donated $3,000 to help support Guam Crime Stoppers in raising awareness on crime prevention and safety. Very good corporate citizenship there. All right, please stay tuned, everybody. Coming up after this commercial break, we have details to the upcoming conference on how you can end tuberculosis. Stay tuned. You are watching the HotSpot, and again, not Game of Thrones.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Got a question about your finances? You've come to the right place. Bring all your accounts together, even those that aren't with us, and see the big picture, right down to the smallest detail. Unlock powerful tools like Insights and Money Map that help you save time and take control of your finances. When you connect accounts with the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
I'm Elizabeth Nicholas, and I'm voting for Joe.
My name is Elisa. Again, I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Hope Benavente de los Reyes, and I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Marjorie Linsky. I'm voting for Joe. I'm Dado Razon. I'm voting for Joe.
I am Deb Kenga. I am voting for Joe.
My name is John Ray Taitano, and I'm voting for Joe.
My name is Jerry Labalson, and I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Ellie Baldemore. I'm voting for Joe San Agustin.
Please vote Joe San Agustin for Senator. Thank you.
I'm Senator Joe Shimizu San Agustin, and I approve this message.
Lunches, snacks, we got diapers for baby girl. Oh, 7:15, we gotta go. Bread, milk, gas for work. Remember to grab Joe Boy a birthday present. Half a day.
Hey, Molly, how much do you pay for daycare for the kids?
Over $600 a month. It's expensive.
Did Did you hear about the governor's program that covers up to $675 a month for childcare?
Wow, that would be a lifesaver with the rising costs of everything.
Check guamchildcare.com to apply. We qualified. I even booked an appointment for someone to walk me through the process.
guamchildcare.com. Okay, thanks. I'll apply today.
This ad is paid for with federal funds administered by DPHSS.
With Pacific Points, your everyday expenses could be helping you save. Earn points at Shell, Foodies Guam, and IT&E. Then redeem for awesome rewards. Want free fuel from Shell or snacks from Foodies Guam? What about discounts on your IT&E bill, free IT&E prepaid cards, or United Mileage Plus miles? Sign up for free today. Visit PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
All right, welcome back to the Hotspot, everybody. We are live on YouTube, on Facebook, and KUAM TV8. There is an upcoming public health conference that focuses on tuberculosis in our community, and I want you to pay attention to this because we want to end TB. Joining me right now in the KUAM News Zoom room are Dr. Michelle Yamamoto from the Guam Regional Medical City, Rose Greeno from the Guam Nursing Association, she's also down at FHP, and my buddy Chima Mbakwin with the Department of Public Health. Half a day to all three of you. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So good to see all of you. And thank you for putting on this conference because obviously tuberculosis is something that each one of us as Guamanians are very, very concerned about. Unfortunately, it's touched many aspects of island life here. So Chima, I'd like to start with you if I may, because one thing that stood out to me about the way this conference is being assembled is we're not looking to let's reduce the amount of tuberculosis on our island. Let's, curb the amount. We're saying let's end TB on island.
Yeah, thank you, Jason, and thank you for having us on the show. Yes, we want to end TB in Guam because it's possible to end TB in Guam when all the stakeholders and the community come together. It is a curable disease and it's a preventable disease. So while we're having this conference is because we've seen how the COVID-19 pandemic has reversed years of global progress in tackling TB. We've seen increase in death in TB within the last few years due to COVID. So the aim of this conference is to refocus the community and the healthcare providers on TB because TB still remains one of the biggest killers in the world. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, the title of the conference is Let's Unite to End TB. And I appreciate that, Chima, how you said, we're going to take what we learned as far as emergency response and coordination and communication and basically bring all of the stakeholders together to hopefully, again, not reduce the amount, but basically rid our island of TB. Okay, so Dr. Yamamoto, I'd like your perspective on how prevalent TB is from a medical perspective, and how many cases do you typically maybe see per month?
So it's actually a very good question. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thanks. It's a very good question that you ask. I actually have some data coming off of the public health. Just over the past week, this past week, there were 5 new referrals to the public health program. Starting January of this year until present, as we speak, there's currently about 64 cases for this particular year to date. How does that translate? Prior to the pandemic, we were reporting about 87 cases a year. some data having MDR tuberculosis, which is drug-resistant tuberculosis. Now, over the last 2 years, and I would like to echo what Chima has said, over the last 2 years, the progress of trying to end tuberculosis has been halted because much of the resources for the care of tuberculosis and contact tracing were slightly shifted to taking care of the COVID pandemic. Mind you, what I'm saying is slightly shifted. It never really stopped. And I can personally attest to this because GRMC has been in close contact with the public health in all of our TB cases. The cases for tuberculosis did not stop during the pandemic. Now, what we're actually seeing is that we see more and more cases come up now because there's more access to healthcare that wasn't really there at the start of the pandemic when we had to do some lockdowns for the betterment of the people on the island at some point when we started. So, we've never really had no TB cases. We have had better outcomes prior to the pandemic, which again have had a little bit of a halt, but now it's rearing its head back, its ugly head back in the community. So
and it is a very, very ugly head. I know every time, like you hear about there's been a TB outbreak, and I mean it is a very, very serious matter and obviously cause for concern. Mr. Rose, I'd like to go to you now from maybe a response perspective. Being involved with the Guam Nursing Association, when you talk about tuberculosis and how fast it could possibly spread, and as Dr. Yamamoto just said, the number of people that are affected, how does the medical community, stay aware and stay ready to treat that?
Yeah. Thank you, Jason, and thank you. Good morning to all your viewers. And it's really it is a collaborative approach, Jason. That's why if you can also unite to end TB. So it needs a lot of stakeholders to put this together and work as a team, collaborative effort to really end TB. As what we have shared earlier, so we kind of did not put a focus on that. So with all the stakeholders now that are working together, and it's really great this conference, Jason, because we see representative from not only in the Guam Nurses Association but different stakeholders in our community. You know how it says it takes a village to raise a child. No, it takes an island-wide to end TB. With all of this, even you as considered now as part of our stakeholders and disseminating this information, we wanted to keep that awareness out there, up front and center that there's TB, and shift from all this focus on the COVID. So it's really the focus is this, is the healthcare community to really have the get together and kind of update us, because the last time we had a conference is in 2019. Now there is some new testing method, new medications that we're gonna have to work on, and then also Jason, there's how is the relationship of how is it with patient has a diabetes with TB,
exactly
have a one of the things that we're really excited to know, like Dr. Yamamoto and then other speakers gonna talk about, Jason, is what is the relationship of TB and COVID? A patient has a COVID and TB at the same time. How are we healthcare professionals are managing this? How are we going to work on testing this? And how are we going to do on managing this care? There's also there, as what Dr. Yamamoto mentioned, is a multi-drug resistant TB, it's there. And the other thing is, what are the new treatments over there? Are the treatments available in Guam? We need to let the our healthcare professionals and our colleagues know that there is a new treatment, and how can we work together to end this TB?
Exactly, and I think it's also interesting how the three of you are not only joining me now on Zoom, but the three of you will also be presenting at the conference. So maybe real quickly, can each of you, and we'll start with Chima, just give us a little bit of a synopsis about what your respective presentation will entail.
All right, Jason, going back to what Ms. Rose was saying, The conference is in coordination with also external partners, the Southeastern National TB Center. This center is a center of excellence that is funded by the CDC. These are the 4 centers that are the nation special TB centers that actually support the whole of TB programs in the US. And looking at the goal of the conference is just like Rose said, is to bring together people to learn about cutting-edge TB science and clinical advances from these national subject matter experts. And it will also provide an important avenue for networking and relationship building among stakeholders for us to stop TB, to eliminate TB on Guam. So for the conference, I'll be speaking on TB in the US, TB in the Pacifics, and also TB in Guam to update the participants on what is going on globally in the US and then how it actually affects us in Guam. Considering the fact that we have some countries within the Western Pacifics that are high incident areas in TB, amongst the first 8 countries in the world. And these people have access to Guam. So we're going to look at how that has impacted on our TB incidents in Guam. And then after that, I'm also going to, I'm not a clinician here, so I'm doing more of the public health part of it. So I'm going to also talk about how we can leverage stakeholders to eliminate TB on Guam. We're going to look at what stakeholders that public health is working with right now, what stakeholders we want to bring to the table, and what expectations that we have, from those stakeholders, especially in making decisions for communities in disparities, communities where they lack access to healthcare. So we're going to discuss that as part of the conference. And then finally, we're going to look at one of the big issues in TB across the world now, which is the TB laws. How the TB laws impact on diagnosis, how the TB laws impact on TB reporting, and how the TB laws would also help us in eliminating TB. So I'm going to speak on those 3 topics, from the public health perspective, trying to show what is the reality, where we want to be, and also creating a roadmap on how we wish to get there with the support of the stakeholders that we're expecting on this conference, which is
very, 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 very impressive. And that's just Chima's part. We've also got a bunch of other presenters, but obviously, and I would say, Chima, I would like to remind everybody watching right now, most people in our community came to know you from our shows because with your work with COVID. But ladies and gentlemen, Chima Mbakwa has actually been working on tuberculosis and controlling it, trying to rid it from our island for a very, very long time, way before COVID started. So certainly your voice is very much appreciated for your expertise and your experience, Chima. How about you, Dr. Yamamoto? What will your presentation be about?
So I actually was tasked to give an overview of what TB is, and I think it's a good thing because you hear about what it is, the natural history of the disease, and the disease progression. I think a lot of people would need to understand why we do what we do. As a clinician, I'm a firm believer that patients need to be educated from ground up. They need to know what they're facing so that if they have any questions, if they have any doubts or stigmas about TB, those get erased. I think one of the biggest hurdles that I have faced and I've heard from people is that how they feel stigmatized when they get diagnosed with TB. And as I've always said, it's endemic in our island, and it's not a patient's it's not a patient's fault when a patient gets tuberculosis. What the patient can do is to be part of the change, part of the ripple, so that he or she can actually help end tuberculosis on Guam. So basically, my part is for that, mostly for natural history and disease progression, and participating in the case discussions. So we will have a lot of cases shared, not just coming from GRMC, coming also from GMH and in the community, and those will be discussed, of course, under HIPAA laws, so that we could all learn from all of those cases.
Very well. And again, the emphasis being on we want to make sure that we rid and end TB in our island community. And it is a very, very lofty ambition, to be sure, but one that can certainly be achieved. It's a very practical goal. I'll tell you what, Ms. Rose, I want to go to you after this next commercial break because we got a lot more to talk about. We're going to talk to Rose about her presentation, the regional perspective of how TB affects us here in the Pacific, and also some of the technology that is allowing us to fight TB in a much more aggressive way. That is coming up when the HotSpot returns.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
There's epic, then there's ultra epic. Capture life in vivid resolution with Galaxy's most advanced camera system and the built-in S Pen that puts you in control. Every moment, every angle, from sunrise to sundown and beyond. More striking, more stunning than ever. Find the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra at your nearest iTunes store or online at ite.net and change the way you work and play.
Lunches, snacks, we got diapers for baby girl. Oh, 7:15, we gotta go. Bread, milk, gas for work. Remember to grab Joe Boy a birthday present. Half a day.
Hey, Molly, how much do you pay for daycare for the kids?
Over $600 a month. It's expensive.
Did you hear about the governor's program that covers up to $675 a month for childcare?
Wow, that would be a lifesaver with the rising costs of everything.
Check guamchildcare.com to apply. We qualified. I even booked an appointment for someone to walk me through the process.
guamchildcare.com. Okay, thanks. I'll apply today.
This ad is paid for with federal funds administered by DPHSS.
Say hello to the first Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Want a better look at your spending? With MoneyMap, you can automatically create budgets and manage where your money is going. Know when you have a green light, or when it's time to slow down. Maybe cook more meals at home this week. Set your goals, track your progress, and find your way to exactly where you want to be. With MoneyMap from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. It all starts with yes.
The KUAM Care Force, along with partners Guam Animals in Need and the Booneyfly Project, are asking you to join NBC Universal in their nationwide effort to clear the shelters this August. We're encouraging our community to get involved, donate to these organizations, and adopt and foster pets to help our growing stray animal population on Guam. For the 8th consecutive year, NBC is raising awareness and funds in their local communities to support animal welfare. Since its inception in 2015, Clear the Shelters has helped more than 700,000 pets find new homes. Join us all August long for live reports on KUAM News Hotspot and Primetime, special news series, My Pet's Story, a weekly series on KUAM Digital showcasing heartwarming stories of pets who found loving homes, weekly posts on KUAM social media platforms featuring pets in need of homes. Let's do our part to clear the shelters and support animals in need.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. Refer as many friends as you want. There's no limit. Referring friends is fast and easy. Simply log into your account on the app or website, then tap or click on Refer a Friend. Earn bonus points when they sign up and make a transaction. Earn 100 bonus points for every friend you refer. Pacific Points. Refer friends, get rewarded.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
Hafide, and welcome back to the Hotspot, everybody. I continue discussing how to end TB, and we must unite as a community to get that done. That is precisely the theme of a conference coming up. Dr. Michelle Yamamoto, Chima Ambakwam, and Rose Greeno continue to join me, and we continue to discuss that. Real quick, I know, Michelle, I believe, Doctor, a couple of your parents are watching right now, so do you want to say hi to them? They're watching right now on YouTube, as I understand.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. And then also my office staff, the clinic staff of Guam Infectious Disease and Pulmonary Clinic. Hello. Dr. Augustine's watching too.
Very nice. Chima, you want to send a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, thank you to everyone watching. Thank you.
All right. Okay, and Ms. Rose, well, before I ask you the next question, is I know you said a couple of your coworkers are actually watching this, but you're doing a fantastic job. So you want to say hi to them?
Hi, hello to my staff, our team here at FHP, and take care. And I know your friend Clarence maybe already putting it out there, Jason. So I know there's a bunch watching right now. Good morning.
Absolutely. Okay, so FHP staff, buy Miss Rose some, get us some really good donuts and a nice cup of coffee, because she's doing a really good job representing you guys. But Miss Rose, I would like to pose this next question to you. When it comes to treating TB and getting the word out in our public schools, I mean, that's the largest agency in the government of Guam. It's obviously the largest concentration of young people. How will the message actually get out to that segment of our community?
Yeah, so actually, Jason, that's great you asked that, because we have one presenter that is really talk about how this to evaluate TB, doing a screening in our school system. It's really been timely. We do have Miss Julieta Kineni is going to be speaking on that. It's really timely now that we are on face-to-face back to school. So the key important there is how are we going to equip our school nurses, because they're the first one there that, and also be able to screen and evaluate those patients or those students that has a risk factor, and how can we bring them into the system, into the primary care provider, and even work with public health. And the other things also, Jason, that's excited because we do even have a public health nurse who's going to speak also in the conference, and how is it, evaluating, screening patients on TB from our public health system. So there's a lot of collaborations, and also how is it from us, and the primary care clinics, and all, evaluate TB, and how can we connect them into this system. We want it to a pragmatic, systematic, collaborative approach in ending this TB. So I'm really excited, and I'm really kind of happy that we have this, our vision. I know there's only 3 of us over here together, but there's a lot of involvement in the other planning committee from the University of Guam, from GCC, from our public health system, from the Guam Memorial Hospital, and also the other clinics here in Guam. And how can we work together, Jason, into this?
Absolutely.
And then the other one is, Jason, Guam is a culturally diverse island, and we all know that. One thing is there that we added into this program is we're going to have our healthcare professionals and the rest of the attendee to learn about cultural sensitivity and humility training. We have to be sensitive to the different cultures of our, in our population over here, and how can we effectively talk to them. As what Dr. Yamamoto said, before, when somebody have a TB, there's always like a stigma, that you did something wrong, it's your fault. No, that's not the patient's fault. So we have to look into what we can do as a whole healthcare system and unite in ending this TB.
Exactly. The one thing I want to talk about now, and all 3 of you can jump in with this as you see fit, but the target audience for this conference, I mean, it's not just people in the medical field, it's not just people concerned with like public health. As you've already said, like the people that could take away from this conference are very, very wide. So before we talk about the registration, and I know I got a graphic here that we'll bring up showing people what the link is to register. Chima, what is the intended audience for a lot of these talks? Because the talks are very, very diverse.
Yeah, so the thing is, the audience is broad, like you stated, and it started from the planning committee, like Ms. Rose stated. we actually had a representative from DOD, which is the Air Force, that was in the meeting with us from the beginning to the end because of that partnership with the military. We also had UOG that had Ms. Margaret Hattori Uchima. We had GCC. We had Yvonne from UOG. We had Dr. Yamamoto and Ms. Rose. We also had Margarita Gay from Public Health. We had Annette Orgon, who is the BCDC administrator. You know, it's a huge, we had also our Severo, who actually works in the Office of Minority. So it was a huge planning committee that actually addressed every sector of the community that is impacted by COVID. So our intended audience is, like we mentioned, stakeholders. And remember that stakeholders are people that are affected by TB or will be affected by TB. So we invited the consulates, we invited community leaders, we invited non-governmental organizations, we invited community-based organizations. We actually reached out to construction companies, we reached out to small businesses, but the main emphasis on this too is reaching out to the healthcare community. We sent out through Ms. Rose and Dr. Yamamoto, they took care of the medical community, which they can speak to. And also from our own side, we reached out to other partners that we've worked with in public health. So it is a very robust team of participants that are coming out to listen to this. We initially we estimated 150 people to attend, but during the planning meeting, we agreed to move the participants number up to 190. And as of yesterday, we had 154 people already registered for the conference. So that will tell you how people are reacting and how people are accepting the conference. But I'll also let my other planning committee members speak to your question. Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to go to Dr. Yamamoto for our final question, but you know, it is the conference. It is the Let's Unite to End TB on Guam conference, August 27th and 28th over at the Hyatt. So beautiful facility. There are 12 speakers in all, each of them a learned, experienced expert in a specific aspect of public health that are really going to pass information that you could really use along to you. So Doctor, maybe if you can, just make a final push about why it is so imperative the people that care about this island attend and, you know, really take the information to heart, but then also really put that into practice. And like Rose said, you know, it's going to take an island-wide effort, but we really can end TB on Guam.
Yes, so I've always said that the hospitals are your last straw for a lot of things. The island, since coming on to Guam about 6 years ago, we've been on Guam 6 years ago, Dr. Augustine and myself. I think we've seen a lot of very good change in terms of medical progress. But there is still a lot of work to be done, meaning we will need the help of everyone moving this forward. And when I say move forward, specifically for tuberculosis, you know, we've had some setbacks during the COVID pandemic. Not to use that as an excuse, but we had to deal with what we had to deal with for the health of the island. But now that we are slowly recovering, we would have to unite to just make sure that we take a hold of tuberculosis. Now, why is it important to end tuberculosis on Guam? I mean, a lot of people would be shocked on how much it takes to cure one case. And if I'm not mistaken, Chima can correct me. The number to that for a regular tuberculosis case is around $20,000. And that data came from 2017, 2018, when I had provided that data in my 2019 talk. That's $20,000 for regular run-of-the-mill tuberculosis. Yeah. You go to one drug-resistant tuberculosis, it goes up to $120,000. Now you go to multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, it goes to around $250,000 to $300,000. Now, why do I put the monetary figures up? I do it because, you know, if we can curb tuberculosis, the money that the government spends on treating tuberculosis can probably be funneled elsewhere. And I think that would be of benefit. Now, without the monetary aspect to it, of course, we don't want our children and our family members to get sick. And this is one preventable disease. If I think Rose and Shima would agree with me that this is one preventable disease if we strive as a community to prevent its further spread as soon as we find cases to prevent its further spread.
And I appreciate, Doctor, how you actually put that in, because obviously getting sick, suffering, potentially even incurring loss of life is obviously the highest priority. But, when it comes to quality of life, there certainly is an economic component to it that somebody is going to have to incur. So thank you for all this. I want to remind people the URL to go and register. You see it right there on your TV screen, tinyurl.com/United to End TB. That is not just a clever phrase. It is a rallying cry. It is the mantra, if you will, about why we as Guamanians all have to work together. And these three experts I have with me today in the KUAM News Zoom room have reinforced just that. So Shima Mbakwa at Public Health, Dr. Michelle Yamamoto, and Rose Greeno, thank you all for the work that you continue to do to really get this job done, a mission that you have all undertaken and one that really can be done. So hopefully this conference will get to that end.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you at the conference.
All right, and we'll see you at the conference too. Remember, everybody, August 27th and 28th over at the Hive. Please register now because it is very, very good information. And please stay tuned because the Hotspot will continue with more right after this.
The KUAM Care Force, along with partners Guam Animals in Need and the Booneyfly Project, are asking you to join NBC Universal in their nationwide effort to clear the shelters this August. We're encouraging our community to get involved, donate to these organizations, and adopt and foster pets to help our growing stray animal population on Guam. For the 8th consecutive year, NBC is raising awareness and funds in their local communities to support animal welfare. Since its inception in 2015, Clear the Shelters has helped more than 700,000 pets find new homes. Join us all August long for live reports on KUAM News Hotspot and Primetime, special news series, My Pet's Story, a weekly series on KUAM Digital showcasing heartwarming stories of pets who found loving homes, weekly posts on KUAM social media platforms featuring pets in need of homes. Let's do our part to clear the shelters and support animals in need.
Lunches, snacks, we got diapers for baby girl. Oh, 7:15, we gotta go. Bread, milk, gas for work. Remember to grab Joe Boy a birthday present. Half a day.
Hey, Molly, how much do you pay for daycare for the kids?
Over $600 a month. It's expensive.
Did you hear about the governor's program that covers up to $675 a month for childcare?
Wow, that would be a lifesaver with the rising cost of everything.
Check guamchildcare.com to apply. We qualified. I even booked an appointment for someone to walk me through the process.
guamchildcare.com. Okay, thanks. I'll apply today.
This ad is paid for with federal funds administered by DPHSS.
Say hello to the first Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Want a better look at your spending? With MoneyMap, you can automatically create budgets and manage where your money is going. Know when you have a green light, or when it's time to slow down, maybe cook more meals at home this week. Set your goals, track your progress, and find your way to exactly where you want to be with MoneyMap from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. It all starts with yes.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8 or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by Remax Diamond Realty. Care Force, along with partners Guam Animals in Need and the Booneyfly Project, are asking you to join NBC Universal in their nationwide effort to clear the shelters this August. We're encouraging our community to get involved, donate to these organizations, and adopt and foster pets to help our growing stray animal population on Guam. For the 8th consecutive year, NBC is raising awareness and funds in their local communities to support animal welfare. Since its inception in 2015, Clear the Shelters has helped more than 700,000 pets find new homes. Join us all August long for live reports on KUAM News HotSpot and Primetime, special news series, My Pet's Story, a weekly series on KUAM Digital showcasing heartwarming stories of pets who found loving homes, weekly posts on KUAM social media platforms featuring pets in need of homes. Let's do our part to clear the shelters and support animals in need.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News HotSpot at noon on streaming and TV8 or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
The KUAM Care Force, along with partners Guam Animals in Need and the Booneyfly Project, are asking you to join NBC Universal in their nationwide effort to clear the shelters this August. We're encouraging our community to get involved, donate to these organizations, and adopt and foster pets to help our growing stray animal population on Guam. For the 8th consecutive year, NBC is raising awareness and funds in their local communities to support animal welfare. Since its inception in 2015, Clear the Shelters has helped more than 700,000 pets find new homes. Join us all August long for live reports on KUAM News HotSpot and Primetime, special news series, My Pet's Story, a weekly series on KUAM Digital showcasing heartwarming stories of pets who found loving homes, weekly posts on KUAM social media platforms featuring pets in need of homes. Let's do our part to clear the shelters and support animals in need.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News HotSpot at noon on streaming and TV8 or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
I do love that animation because it shows nice clear island skies and Mr. Sun, coming up, sending his rays and his beams down on us and giving us nice, really, really cool, the island type of weather and everything. Well, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of sweat, right? However, will this weather actually continue into this Saturday, which is, of course, the primary election? So I'm giving you guys, I need some information here, right? I'm hungry for info. I'm giving you not one, but two Aidlet brothers. We have Landon Aidlet, of course, a chief forecaster with the National Weather Service. On the left there, the younger of the Dingas, the twin brothers. And then brother Brandon, who is joining us from the Steel City. He's in Steeler country. You're in Pittsburgh, right, Brandon?
Yes, so good evening from Pittsburgh. It is about almost 10 p.m. out here, Sunday evening. And so I'm here in Pittsburgh for the National Weather Association annual conference. So there is a ton of forecasters, meteorologists from the National Weather Service, from lots of different television stations, national, local TV stations. We're staying at the Sheraton Hotel at the base of the cliff that I am standing on. And we're here for the week to talk about weather. So there's so much craziness going on. We've had lots of thunderstorms, and you can just imagine how many people are taking pictures outside of the hotel room.
Gosh, when 300 weather forecasters all descend upon one area and everything, I mean, that's a party waiting to happen. I know this.
Yeah, it makes you wonder who's making the forecast for the rest of the world right now.
Well, luckily we got your twin brother Landon here. So Landon, unfortunately, you are not traveling this week. I mean, like 3 of the past 4 times we've had you on the show, you've been overseas and everything, but good to have you back on home soil.
It is great to be back, and I'm trying to get back on my own 2 feet over here because I've been traveling really since the Tower for Humanity came down back in late June. I have been all over the place. So I'm trying to get my grasp back onto things, check my email, and it's overflowing with emails. So it is good to be home.
Very nice. Okay, so and Brandon's giving us like a real nice shot. Wow, downtown Pittsburgh. Okay, so I want to make sure we can really represent those of you that are Pittsburgh fans. I know there's a lot of people on Guam who root for the black and yellow for any sport. So go Steelers, go Pirates, go Penguins.
That's
all the way across the board. Okay, as for the weather, Landon, the other bit of information, like I said, I mean, many thousands of Guamanians will be heading to the polls this Saturday if they are so inclined to participate in the election. What type of weather can we expect going there? Please say it's going to be dry and sunny.
Well, definitely, it does not look like it's going to be that bad for later this week. That's
Yes.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. Of course, it's still very early. Things could change, but right now we're most concerned about what's going on outside today. So outside my window, there's a lot of clouds and showers and thunderstorms. There's a thunderbolt right over my shoulder, but let me turn my camera around and show you exactly what we're looking at. And Brendan's got some good
Whoa, and there's lightning in Pittsburgh, apparently.
So they're getting lightning in Pittsburgh, and we are getting thunder and lightning here in Guam as well. We've been seeing some flashes of lightning reported in our sensors on our computer east of Guam. This is a very active picture right now with showers and thunderstorms all across the Mariana Islands. This is the latest frame in our radar. But let me get this animating right quick. It's a complex situation. We have a lot of showers and thunderstorms situated to our east with a broad, weak monsoonal type wind flow of the areas, which means everything's coming in from the west and the southwest. And that's all part of a larger circulation with a disturbance to our north. That's Invest Area 99W, rated low by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. That's influencing the weather, as well as a weak circulation off to our west. I'm going to open up this frame just a little bit to show you the bigger picture of what we're looking at. It's a very busy late morning right now with the showers and thunderstorms, but they're starting to heat up. We're starting to see these yellows, oranges, and reds pop up, and that's basically the intensity, the heavy showers that are prevailing across the area. And we've been seeing some pretty significant rainfall rates over the last several mornings. This is the instantaneous rainfall rate. And if you see the flashing over here on my computer, those are rainfall rates of 3 inches or more per hour. So if one of these shower cells are sitting overhead for an hour, you could see 3 inches or more rainfall in that one period of time, or that 1 hour. The good news is this is all moving along at a pretty good clip across the island. So it's not sitting in place, but they are dumping the heavy showers and then moving on off toward our east. But the 1 hour accumulated rainfall totals, the flashing, that's 1.5 inches and more. So this is what our radar is estimating right now based off of rainfall of the last hour. So the heaviest rains have been just offshore to our east. Some of us across the island have seen a brief heavy downpour or two this morning. That's going to be the theme at least through the next several hours as these showers keep heating up to our west and then moving off over Guam and toward the east. So again, not everybody's going to see the heavy torrential rainfall, but those that will be under these little shower cells will see some moderate to heavy, briefly torrential downpours before it moves on eastward to us.
And maybe Landon, right on cue. I mean, I don't have a window view here in our TV studio. I mean, I know you're sitting right next to a window, but unless there's a big dog that's peeing up against the side of our building and everything, it sounds like the rain's really starting to come down here in Harmon.
Yep, and I can vouch for that. Looking out my window, I'm looking out over behind the airport, and I can see the heavy showers and dark clouds sitting right over what will probably be right about your area. Let me go look at the radar quick. I'm going to flip back to our active radar screen. And so we are situated right here, and your studio is right up there. So you have that shower pushing right over Dededo Micronesia Mall area. Yep. That's
accurate
moving across north central Guam. And that's going to be moving right on eastward. So it's not going to be sitting there for long. But if you're driving, it's going to cause ponding of water on the roadways, and that's going to be the theme at least for the next several hours. Will we see any flash flood potential this afternoon? Well, that is always a potential in these wet patterns, especially with the heaviest showers. It looks like the bulk of the heaviest rainfall is going to be just to our east along this swath, with the showers inbound from the west and the back building of the heavier showers and stratified rainfall to our east. It's all going to be kind of culminating together just to our east. If this boundary shifts more westward, we could see a lot more rainfall this afternoon. So keep posted to our social media pages and also weather forecast, weather.gov/GUM for any hydrologic products that we may be issuing, like an urban and small stream flood advisory, if that becomes necessary over the next several hours.
Right.
In these situations, things can evolve pretty quickly. So rainfall totals are very sporadic across the island, with possibly some areas approaching a ½ inch of rainfall. But these showers, again, if they fall over your area, you can see 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall in a very short period of time.
All right. So for those of you young people who are in school right now, so if you're at JFK, places on the western side of the island, you may get a little bit of the rain stuff. But for those of you on the east side of the island, like Landon was just saying, GW, Notre Dame, schools like that and everything like that, you might want to break out the umbrella. For those of you just tuning in, watching the live stream on YouTube or Facebook, that is not Landon Idlet on the left playing Minecraft, but he is actually showing us the expected rainfall. And what we have there on the right side is twin brother Brandon giving us an absolutely gorgeous shot of downtown Pittsburgh, PA. He is actually joining us from Western Pennsylvania. So Brandon, I'd like to go to you. What are you being able to give to your colleagues, and the networking and the dialogue you've been able to have about the difference and the uniqueness of weather systems we have here on the island, and how we can get better at forecasting, maybe possibly forecasting more accurately or even faster?
Yeah, that's a lot of the conversations I hope to have this week. I've already reached out to a lot of the satellite developers at the University of Wisconsin, at Sierra, Colorado. And so they provide a lot of the satellite instrumentation, a lot of the different products that we use. And so they're developing a lot of stuff for the continental US. And so I'm reaching out to them to see what we can do to bring it out to the Pacific, and how we can to make use of these different products to maybe get a better sense of what the atmosphere is doing. And so what we see on the panel right there that Landon is showing, the visible satellite, that's just scratching the surface of what satellite data can provide us. There's so much other details that satellite imagery gives us, the stuff that is visible to the naked eye, but also the water vapor, the humidity in the atmosphere, and that all tells a big story. And so this is important stuff for the developing disturbances, stuff that could develop into tropical depressions and tropical storms. And so I will be having a lot of conversations this week with some of these developers to see what we can bring out to the Pacific to really harness some of the innovation that's going on. But for this week, I am presenting on the Micronesia king tide flooding that we experienced in the early December of 2021. And that brought a lot of notable flooding across the islands. And so my cohort, Brandon Buchan, also from the National Weather Service in Guam, we did a partner project to really dissect this flooding pattern to find out what happened, climate change, the El Nino La Nina pattern that has quite a contribution, but also the large storm systems across the Pacific. This past July, we had another king tide scenario, but there was no flooding across Micronesia. It was fairly quiet. However, there was that big storm system in the South Pacific, just east of New Zealand, that created monster waves that caused a lot of coastal flooding for American Samoa, and then eventually Hawaii. I know a lot of people saw some of the flooding at one of those outdoor wedding events on the Big Island. And so we had nothing across Micronesia. They had something. What was the difference? And that was the big swell that was being generated in sequence with the astronomical high tides. So that's the conversation that I will be presenting on this week at the conference.
All right. So Brother Brandon giving us a very historical, very empirical perspective of weather systems. Brother Landon on the left there actually showing us what is happening right now. So we may get some of the wet stuff, ladies and gentlemen, as both gents have started to talk about and everything like that. So guys, really appreciate the information. And Brandon, I know it goes without saying, it's probably not the smartest thing for you to wear either a West Virginia jersey there or an Eagles jersey. Those kind of things don't go over so well in Pittsburgh, but that's just me.
I know. I try to stay neutral. I'm just wearing my tropical pineapple shirt that my wife Shirley gave me a while back.
There you go. Represent the islands, my friend.
I wanted to say one thing. We
Sure.
in the meteorology world, we're always saying when thunder roars, get indoors. And so you can see the lightning behind me. But when I look at the radar, most of these thunderstorms are a good 30 to 40 miles out. So there is no thunder being heard, but these storms are moving well away to the northeast of Pittsburgh, and they're just rapidly pushing farther away. So we are definitely on the decline. Some of the lightning is very orange in color, horizontal along the cloud bases. That's kind of signifying that some of the convection is starting to die out, that the thunderstorms are starting to quiet out a little bit. But for Pittsburgh right now, we are in the quiet.
Well, Brandon, man, I really appreciate it. As an engineering nerd and everything, I will never get tired of looking at downtown Pittsburgh, seeing all those bridges. Tell the crew over at Carnegie Mellon I said what's up if you happen to pass by there.
Sure will, most definitely.
All right, Brandon, we'll keep in touch with you, because I know if the situation with the rain does intensify and everything like that, I'm sure we're going to be reaching out to you sometime later today, but hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Have a nice lunch.
Yeah. Keep the umbrellas handy. Absolutely.
All right. So the Brothers Aidlet, taking care of you, giving you the information you need. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Landon, we appreciate it as always. Brandon, please be safe and safe travels home. We can't wait to interact with you face to face. I'm going to have lunch with these two dudes one of these days and everything. So if you happen to see the three of us, surely stop by and say hi. As for right now, we are going to get lunch done for real, because it is just about 12 o'clock. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy Game of Thrones, because I know you can't wait to watch that. We will see you next time.